Hi. So today I woke up and I decided that I wanted to start a YouTube channel because I feel like short form content has been super helpful for me and for like my work and like getting to know so many people and sharing music. It's been amazing, but I feel like there's a bit more to me than like the short form content. Like you can't say really that much in 1 minute, and I love talking. Like you would be impressed. And so I was I found myself like thinking I've kind of always wanted to do this. I always like was afraid of doing it, but I was also afraid of creating a TikTok or an Instagram account and start posting my reels. I'm still afraid. Every time I post something, I'm like, I am so cringe, but also I love it. So like, I thought let me just do this. So I created this channel, and so hi, welcome, subscribe. I guess I don't know. I'll get better at this, but low-key, I wanna set the ground. I'm a little bit lazy. I am a little bit lazy, actually. I find out that about myself. And my idea is to try to make a chill coffee chat with you every time I come and sit down here. And like, I don't want to overly edit this video. This is for you to put on and go and do something else, not to look at the screen. My setup is kind of cute, I think. I'm kind of proud. But yeah, I kind of want to be with you whilst you're walking or whilst you're cleaning your house or doing something else, maybe cooking or showering, whatever. But this is kind of like the vibe that I'm going for. I don't want to make overly edited videos. Like, no, that's not what I'm going to go for now. I am always open to changing my mind. I think changing your mind is amazing, but not today. So I posted about this on my Instagram, like, hey, I woke up and I want to start a YouTube channel. What should I talk about? I mean, obviously, I know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about me and music and how, I want to say me and music. That's the same thing, because I feel like I'm nothing without music. I know it sounds kind of like crazy, and it's like, you're not even a musician. I know, but honestly, like, I don't think I could have gone over anything in my life without music. And I think it's the most important thing in my life, and it's also my job. So I'm nothing without music, actually. So yeah, so when I say about me, there's not that much more that I have to say besides talking about music. And lots of things happened to me with my very young years. I've never said this on my social media, but I am 22. I don't know why I wanted to hide it. I feel like people judge you a lot based on your age, for good and for bad, but I don't want to get into that topic. Maybe that's a topic for another video. But anyways, I posted on my Instagram, like, hey, what should I like talk about? Like, there's so many things I could talk about. Where should I start? And someone said, like, well, start from the beginning. Like, why do you listen to the music that you listen to? Why does it mean so much to you? And he said, like, it was clearly like an OG follower, because he was like, your dad. Because that's like kind of the reason. I guess it's like why this sort of obsession and connection with music I have. And sorry, I might get a little bit nostalgic or a little bit, I don't know, but obviously I never talked about this in public. In fact, I've only ever talked about my dad with like people that I really trust, but let's talk about it. So I guess I'll tell you the story. Yeah, fuck it. Like, why not? So let me have a sip of tea before. Actually, I don't know if this mic is any good. If it's not, I'm sorry. I'll change it another day. So yeah. So my dad, he was a cool guy. Both my parents came from like a very actually quite poor background, I'm gonna say. Yeah, so like a pretty shit. I'm just gonna say it. A pretty shit area from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm Argentinian. For the people that are Argentinian or South American, they are both from Lanús. Not very nice place, but I think my dad worked pretty hard, also had a lot of personality that I feel like got him out of that kind of shit area. I got a pretty good job, and then he gave me and my mom a much better life. So we moved to like a much nicer area. Tigre. That's only for context for people that know. If you've never been to Argentina, don't go to Lanús. Do not recommend. No hate to Lanús. My family still lives there. My grandparents, my cousins, everyone. Anyways, I think he got out of that kind of shit area because he just worked hard and went to university, got a great job. But mostly charisma. I'm gonna say that. I think that most people that do well in life, it's because of either grit or charisma. But yeah, so he gave me and my mom an amazing life for the very short years that I had him. Only 8 years. He died when I was 8. But what do I remember about my dad? Like when I guess that you have memories from when you're 3 till you're 8. What did I just say? I guess that one has memories starting from when you're 3 years old. Yeah. But obviously I remember, I feel like I have one memory from when I was 3 years old. So technically I only knew my dad for 5 years in my mind, which is really short. But something that I do remember about him is his music. I think his music was obviously great because that's what I mostly listen to now. But just to name a few bands, because we also have electronic music that he really liked. Just to name a few bands, I'm gonna say The Cure, Oasis, The Smiths, Depeche Mode, and a lot of I'm gonna go for English 80s and 90s music. He loved it, and my mom also did. But the difference was my dad was the curator of the family. So he will get out of his way to make CDs, and he'll put music on a USB-C, or how we used to call it, I don't know if it's a South American thing, pen drive. So he would put selections of music on the USB, and he'll make playlists. And then he will also try to find underrated songs, and he would show that to us, to me and my mom, most usually in the car, because my rest of my family still lived in that shit area, and his work was also very far away, and my school was also very far away. We always had a lot of time in the car. I think that's also an important key to the story. We spent a lot of time in the car. And so in the car, he would put those, and he'll be like, hey, so this is a new song that I found. What do you think? And something I remember him saying a lot to my mom was he'll play a new song, and my mom would be like, no. And he'll be like, listen to it a few more times. And then my mom would listen to it 3-5 times, and she'll be like, actually, banger. And now it's the same dynamic for me and my mom. Every time I find a new song, I'm like, Mom, you'll love this. Because one thing about me, and I think how I show love, is I figure out people's music taste very fast. I don't know, but I do. And then I show them a song, and usually they really like it. I feel like that's one of the only things I'm good at, figuring out people's music taste. And so I still do the same thing with my mom. I kind of took that place from my dad. Anyways, going back to the story. He would do that to us all the time. So he would, just find stuff. But he would also love mainstream rock bands. He also enjoyed electronic music, which I also do. I just don't really talk about it that much because I don't feel like I have that much of a knowledge. But I love house music. And I live in Berlin. So, I appreciate electronic music, for sure. I just don't talk about it that much. I think maybe one day we'll do it. But there's time, right? Anyways, going back to the story. He would show us so much music. He'll have a big personality, very extroverted. I was an only child, because my mom had cancer when I was, 2 or 3 years old. Thyroid cancer. So it was a chill one. Cancer is never chill. But we knew she wasn't gonna die. But she did have to get her thyroid. I hope I'm saying it right. And if I don't, nobody cares. So yeah, she got her thyroid removed. And so she couldn't have any kids for like a couple of years because of the treatment. It's like so invasive that like you can't have kids. And so it was just me. And being an only child was cool, and it was also sometimes really fucking boring because my parents were really young. So my mom had me when she was 25 and my dad was 30. And obviously they were fucking young. Like I'm 22 and I think about me in 3 years having a kid. I'll Petit Suisse. Like I was never. But they did. And so they were very young and they were very in love and they would like go out and they would be all flirty and cute and I'll be like, I'm so bored. Would you mind giving me a fucking brother or something? Anyways, and so yeah, I guess when you're an only child, I think that you sometimes are a little bit more mature because you kind of only play. I don't really have that memories of me playing. I spit. I feel like I used to more like, no, when I say playing, obviously I played, but I didn't play with dolls or like stuff like that. I used to like put music on and dance and like go on YouTube and like watch YouTube videos or like try to do something with my parents, go somewhere with my parents. We would go out at, like having, I don't know, coffee and like breakfast and dinner. So I took with them a lot. And I think that made me a kid that was pretty mature. So yeah, it was just us three, basically. And then my relationship with my dad was obviously much, much closer than with my mom back in the day. My mom, after she had her thyroid removed, that makes your moods swing as fuck. Like, it's actually crazy. So she had the one that it like makes your energy go way higher, because there's one that makes your energy go lower. I don't know the names. And she had the one that makes it go higher. And she was like on all the time. And sometimes I was like, whoa, like she was too much for me. And so I was a little bit closer to my dad because obviously I was also a girl and I was young. And so I was the princess and like my dad, right? Also, he was never home because he had obviously a job, a good job. I hate that we call like good jobs when the people are working like 12 hours a day. That's not a good job from my point of view, but anyways, he had a good job and it was also a far away job, but everything's far away in Buenos Aires, curse. And so he had to drive. So I'll see him like 1 hour a day, except in the weekends. In the weekends, he was like super present. And so yeah, so obviously when you see someone way less and they treat you like a princess, my preference was my dad. Sorry, Mom, I love you. My mom, she kind of speaks English, kind of doesn't. You never know. Maybe she's watching. Maybe she's understanding. Maybe she's not. Anyways, I love you, Mom. But in that time, I preferred my dad. I had to be honest for the sake of the story. And so yeah. I don't know. Everything was like normal, I guess, except from the fact that I was an only child, and which I don't think it's normal. I don't think it's supposed to be that way. But also it's kind of cool. I don't know. Moving on. So let's just go to the moment where my dad dies. This is kind of hard for me to tell. Actually, so I was 8. But I would behave, let's say, for your understanding, like a person, like a 12-year-old, because of how my parents raised me. I feel like they would agree. And so we used to be the part of the family that had like the bigger house. So on Sundays, we would invite everyone to have like lunch in our place. And I talked so much, so fast. And one Sunday, my dad was on a work trip. He would have sometimes work trips, and it was, I don't know, I think he was away. I don't know for how long, but he was away. And he was going from one place to another, and it was, I think it was a Sunday or a Saturday. It was a non-working day. And we were all in my house. My grandparents from my mom's side, which I love, and I love all my family. I'm not gonna say that. But my grandparents, from my mom's side, and my auntie, my uncle, my cousins, like everyone was at home. So it was a full house. And it was like it was summertime, it was February in Argentina, it's warm. And we were all in the pool. And so we go all back inside, and it was dinner time. So we like eat the leftovers. I'm like, guys, I'm nervous, and my heart is kind of going fast. Anyways, and so it was like 8 p.m. I'd say like 9, and the phone rings, and I pick up. What for? Honestly, and I pick up, and it's the police. And I'm like, hi, and they're like, hi, is this Gisela? Gisela is my mom. It's the police from San Pedro, which was where my dad died. And I'm like, hi, no, it's not her, it's the daughter. And he says, okay, can you put me on the phone with your mom? And I'm like, sure. I didn't freak out at all. I was like, I don't know, maybe, like, I don't know. I actually didn't even know what I thought. I was like, my mom, maybe she got a driving ticket, a parking ticket. I don't know. I didn't freak out at all. Because why would I, right? So I give the phone to my mom, and she goes in the kitchen running. Already I'm like, okay. And then my grandpa goes running behind her. I'm still not freaked out, by the way, until I start hearing like screams from the kitchen. And I get scared, and I don't know what was I thinking. I definitely wasn't thinking that my dad was dead. But I was scared because I was hearing my mom scream. And my uncle was next to me, which is my uncle, meaning like the husband, now ex-husband of my aunt. So he wasn't that close to me, but like, you know, family. I remember when I was younger, I was never very touchy with guys. Doesn't matter the age. I really didn't want to be close to any guy. So I would never hug guys of any kind. Nothing ever happened to me because like my school was actually freaked out, like, was she sexually abused or something? No, I was fine. I just didn't like guys. They were gross. And so my uncle was next to me, and I actually hugged him because I was scared. Which is still random to me to today, because I would never do that. I actually think I would still, I'm not very touchy. So it was weird that I did that, but I remember that, I don't know why. So I hugged him, and he was like petting me, like everything's fine, you know? I was like, no, nothing is fucking fine. And then my mom comes out of the kitchen kind of running, and she picks me up, and I'm already an 8-year-old, like I'm heavy, you know, I'm not a baby. Like she picks me up, like, I guess the adrenaline. She takes me outside. People are, I actually, now that I'm talking about it in such a casual way, I never talk about this in such a casual way actually, but it's been long enough. I guess that the rest of the people were like, what the hell is happening? I wonder if they notice. I should talk about this with my family actually, because we never talk about the day, because I think it's like a pretty fucking awful day, right? And so my mom picks me up, and I think my grandma was behind her, and she sits me down in like the stairs that we had, like that were going out to the ground, to the park. And she says, crying, I loved crying. Your dad had an accident. And I'm like, okay, well, he cannot walk anymore? I don't know why my mind went there. I was just like, I guess that when you're 8, like you start finding out about the horrible things about the world. And I probably found out that you actually can have accidents that leave you without walking. I phrased that horribly, I'm sorry. English is not my first language, okay? And so I don't know why I thought that. I was like, okay, so wait, like, he cannot walk anymore? And she was like, no. She looks at me like, are you fucking? No, I'm joking. No, she says like, he went to heaven. That's what she said. And I'm like, damn it. That was hardcore. And I was like, I didn't really understand what the fuck was going on. Imagine you're 8, I've just learned about death. Like, I feel like I've learned about death when I was like 6 or 7. And in fact, I remember the day that I learned about death. My dad was taking me to school. He would never take me to school, like, say, from special days. And I was, I don't know if you guys remember when you guys learned about death. It's really like nerve-wracking because you don't know. I mean, death is fucking nerve-wracking still. It's been 22 years, but I was actually fucking scared, and I was like, Dad, like, what do you mean? Like, we're all gonna die, and like, are you gonna die? And am I gonna die? And he was like, yeah, we're all gonna die. And I was like, I'm so scared, like, I'm so sad. And I was like very close to like crying, and we were at school, and he turned around and he was like, okay, I'm taking you home. Don't know why he reacted that way. Kind of nuts. But yeah, so I basically just learned about death, and then my dad dies, and my mom is like, we have to go get him. Yeah, the dead body, great. I don't know why she decided to bring me with her. I guess we were close. And so she's like, okay, you have to get changed. I was like in a swimming suit bikini. Because we were in the sun having so much fun that day. And she tells me to go upstairs, and I start throwing up, which is such an interesting thing that we'll talk about in other times. But I start throwing up, and she's like, what's up? And I tell her like, what's up? Like, Mom, why am I throwing up? And she's like, it's normal. I guess I never experienced being so, like, I guess I was having a panic attack or whatever. I cannot decode. But obviously now, as someone that throws up when gets very nervous, I'm like, yeah. So I was throwing up. I didn't cry. And then we had to go get him. So it was me, my grandpa. You had to go recognize the body. There was no need for me to go, but they took me. I don't complain anyways. And so yeah, it was my mom, my grandpa, and me in the car. And we go get him. We go to wherever the crash was, and he's in the hospital, right? And my mom tells me, like, crucial part of the story, by the way. I'm sorry if I'm shouting. My mom tells me, like, we have to go, we can see him one last time, basically. The doctors are saying he looks perfect. Like, he broke his neck or something with the speed. He always used to drive like an asshole. And my mom said, like, the doctors are saying he looks perfect. Like, it won't be a bad experience. You can go and give him a kiss and say goodbye. And I'm like, no. Claps. I was such a smart baby. I'm like, and she's like, why? And I was like, I don't want to see him dead. I want to remember him alive. Which, honestly, I think saved my fucking life. And she's like, okay. And she goes and she comes back, and she's like crying, obviously, but she's not like, crying in a bad way, I guess. She's like, he was looking super nice. Like, are you sure you don't want to go? Like, she was trying to encourage me to go. I get why. And I was like, no, thanks. And then obviously these things take fucking time. And so we were like there waiting, and yeah, so we get in the car. One of my mom's and like one of the family friends was also in another car supporting us. He was there, and then I don't know, it gets like fucking late because these things are so long, and it was like 3 a.m. And when you keep kids that young awake until 3 a.m, they start having the zoomies. So I start getting the zoomies, right? And I start acting silly, and my mom is like, what's your problem? Like, why are you not upset? Like, your dad just died. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna think that he's still on the trip. And that's what I thought for fucking years. Because he used to travel a lot for work. So I just told myself that he was traveling. Until, I don't know when, my body accepted. He's not traveling, he's dead. But I guess that like the way that I had of connecting with my dad and never feeling like he was truly gone was just by listening to music. And just listening to his music and all these CDs that he left behind, and all of this like USBs and like playlists and stuff that he left for us, which is a lot actually. There's a lot of music, and even if there was a particular song from Oasis that he didn't show me, every time I listen to Oasis, apologies, I think about him. and lots of things remind me of him. And there's special songs that like I play and they remind me of me and my dad and my mom in the car listening to music. For example, Point of View. And I remember the last few albums that he had on his car before dying. Like Bocanada from Gustavo Cerati, and his last album, is it called Deja Vu? If you're not Argentinian and you don't know Gustavo Cerati, please get to know him. He's a fucking star, incredible. Babasónicos, the album with the horse, what's the name? I'm gonna put it here. So yeah, like so much music, right? So much great stuff. And I don't know, my way of going through grief with my dad was always really positive, and was always like thinking about when I had him and thinking about the music. And if I found a new song, I'd be like, oh, Dad would love this. And I guess now I kind of took the place that he took in my family, and I am now the curator, but now this is also my job. So I make playlists and people actually listen to them. I post little videos about music and people listen to them. So it's kind of like a very nice circle, I guess. And I still do this, and I still, most importantly, still do this with my mom, which is one of the most amazing persons in the world, by the way. My mom is the best, and I show her music as much as I can, and I know her taste very well. I usually never send her a song that she doesn't like. And yeah, that's like kind of our way to feel connected. I don't know if she feels the same way, because it's not the same. When the love of your life dies, that is fucking hardcore. I don't know. I lost my dad, but he left all the music. And so, I don't know. It was never that bad. I mean, there's obviously lots of things that we, could talk about in another videos and more specifically about music. But I guess, whoa, what a way to start. I just told you one of the hardest stories. I didn't talk that much about music, but I guess there will be other videos where I recommend more stuff. And yeah, I guess that this is the basis. This is where it all starts, and this is where someone else stops showing me music, and I'm the one that's now discovering it. Yeah, I guess this is the reason now why music has been such an important part of my life always. And yeah, I hope in another time, in another video, I can recommend you more stuff and be more useful. But now I kind of wanted to share this because this is kind of what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to talk a bit about myself and who I am also. Because like when you see me on the videos trying to look all pretty and cute and recommending, and it's also curated, right? It's not fake because it's me and it's what I love, but also there's more about me. And I wanted to share that. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to me. If you actually listened to this whole story, wow. I'm impressed, because why would you care about this? But I don't know, it's great if you did. And I hope that you are doing something else and you're not looking at me holding eye contact, because that would be super weird. I'm joking. Anyways, please, I would love it if you can subscribe and like support me on this so that I'm motivated to do more. Because if you don't, I know myself, I'm not gonna do any more videos. I am fucking like that. Anyhow, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Mwah!